Well, hello. Today we're going to be doing underfloor heating in the UK. And if you are in the UK, then you probably know that underfloor heating is not a very common thing. And today I'm attempting to do it myself. Now, this is not actually very expensive if you knew, and I'll talk about that later on in the video if you're wondering how much this costs, because when I actually compared the pricing of normal radiators, I thought, actually, I'm not paying a lot more here. And since I haven't poured the floor yet, maybe it's actually a good idea. So in this video we're going to be doing that, but before we can lay the pipe for the underfloor heating, we need to do a few preparations, so let's do that first. Okay, I've cut the rebar to shape. Now we just need to tie it together. And for that, I'm going to be using zip ties. But as you can see, they both lean over. So we're going to probably in here and in here. So I cut these pieces out so that there wouldn't be 4 of these rebars on top of each other, because that could happen. And then, because this is only going to be 8.5 roughly centimeters deep, I don't want the rebar to be too thick in there. So we're going to be just tying all of these up. So let's get that done. Okay, in essence, there's 2 things that need to be done. This is a little insulation self-adhesive, like a 10mm to 100mm one that should go all the way around the edge of the floor, so that the concrete that's going to be poured won't touch the actual wall, but it will touch this. So it basically isolates the wall and the floor insulation, slight insulation in between. But I'm able to do this afterwards as well, after I've laid the pipe. But because laying the pipe is going to take longer time, this is where I'm going to start. So the pipe is actually going to start from all the way on that side, and I've actually got a diagram that the underfloor heating store actually did for this floor, so I can just follow the guidance and then just put this pipe all the way down. Okay, so the pipe is basically laid now, and I took a little bit of liberty of going my own way, what was on the plan, because there's a few things that they didn't consider on the plan. For example, on the plan here, this is supposed to be straight, but obviously I have a little bit of a lip in here, so the pipe goes underneath there. So as you can see, down there, so I had to kind of do extra here into there. And then my kind of thinking was that I want to go to the coldest wall first, so I'm going all the way around there. So the first run goes all the way to the side of the house, then goes there all the way around, and I'm going around doing this side on the floor here first, and then I'm coming onto this middle part, and I'm doing these long runs all the way to the end until I don't have any more space to turn around. Then I'm turning around. I'm going a little bit inside the toilet as well. But the thing is, there's going to be a toilet cistern in there as well. Here's going to be a shower. So I don't want to go underneath here or none of the cabinets, because I don't know if they need to screw. Obviously the toilet needs to be screwed onto the floor. So if they do that, obviously I don't want my pipe to be in there. So I left plenty of space for the toilet to be in there. But the clever thing is, this toilet and bathroom, we're actually going to be having electric underfloor heating here as well, separately. So just so if you want to, you can just switch the electric underfloor heating on here and turn only the bathroom on if you wanted to, rather than turning the whole system on and then it heats all of this floor as well. For example, in the summer, maybe you want to heat just this up to kind of get the moisture out of the bathroom, then you can do that electrically. So what I'm doing now is, because I didn't put the zip ties everywhere on the floor, I'm looking around to see where the pipe is actually hanging up. For example, look at this bit over here. See how this pipe is hanging up? So I'm going to just put the zip tie there to make sure that all the pipe is nicely tight everywhere onto the rebar. So just going over all of these things and seeing where the pipe might be actually hanging over or up, and then fixing these bits. And then the laying of the pipe is kind of done. So I've just zip tied everything, made sure that all the pipes are nicely on, and obviously they are on, but I also took the clippers and then clipped off every single bit of excess, so all the zip ties are nicely like that, so nothing's actually hanging out, so nothing's sticking out of the concrete once we've put the concrete in. Whew, now just a few more preparations to do for the concrete to actually go in for the floor, making sure that there's enough plastic that goes all the way up, because we don't want any of the concrete to actually touching the stone part of the wall. And then this, obviously this door is going to come off later and then blocked up, but I'm not going to be taking that off before we put the other door in. So what I'll have to do now is actually build some kind of a raised barrier up, because the concrete will go further back, so I need to put something there that would stop the concrete from coming up. So perhaps that's what I'll be doing next. So I cut a little board in there, just a little OSB board, one screw into the frame, because that's going to go anyway, and that's nicely going to stop the concrete from going further back, so we can later build it back nicely into the right level. Okay, I mean, the next thing is to really go around with expanding foam gun, and then making sure that behind the actual plastic, that every bit of a gap on the floor there is actually nicely filled out, because I think there are some gaps like that in there, needs a little filling. So just going around with that, making sure that it's nicely filled. Stick around for the next part, and then you'll see how the concrete's actually being poured and how you can get, you know, this built for yourself as well. If you're interested in more videos like this, and if you think I've done everything wrong, please correct me in the comment section below. I'm not a professional, but I like a DIY, so yeah, let me know what you think. Bye bye.